Please welcome hollarhype.
Hi everybody, my name's Emily and this is James, and we're co-founders of hollarhype, the voice-based motivation network for runners and their supporters. So I was a long distance runner in college, and there's a certain race that has always stuck with me. I was in Yukon and I had just come off of an injury, and I had told my dad, who came to all of my races, please don't bother coming, it's just about getting back out there, just dusting my racing shoes off again. But as I approached the starting line, I checked my phone quickly and I saw a text and it said, so sorry, I'm running late, I was getting out of work, and I don't think I'm gonna be there in time to see you. But in the distance, I saw somebody standing on the top of a building, looking down at the field, and I knew that it was him. I did horrible in the race, but that's not what matters at all. He put his binoculars back in his truck, came down to the field, gave me a big hug, and said, I'm so glad that I didn't miss it. And although my dad's idea of showing up champions my idea of showing up, the reality is there's so many stories just like this one that are part of this running community, the ecosystem among goals. And that's because supporters truly crave that connection with the runner's journey. And it comes down to context. Supporters understand the why, the circumstance, what is motivating somebody to chase this goal. And context is also so intrinsic within the runner's cycle as well. They invest in these different types of technologies that help a runner understand where their journey is, how are their statistics going. Let's just take this one here. This is the Boston Marathon app, which I had up on my smartphone and I was holding in Coolidge Corner during the 2016 Boston Marathon. And that's because my training partner from college was running by, and I could see that she was on pace to break 3 hours, which is not only a remarkable achievement, but also something that meant a whole lot to her. So I stood there holding key information, memories, and the craving to say something so much more than what was possible at that moment, which was just go, Katrin, go. And I left that moment thinking, there's gotta be a way to avoid all of these missed opportunities among the ecosystem of runners, so that supporters can tap into a runner's motivation at the right time, and runners don't have to miss out on these amazing opportunities to feel loved and supported by those that matter most to them.
So that's why we've created hollarhype, the motivation network. hollarhype is a platform that lets you send voice messages to your friends and family while they're on the go for real-time motivation that's hands-free and plays even if you're listening to music. So what makes hollarhype different from all the other fitness apps out there is that it's actually not a fitness app. hollarhype more closely aligns to a social network, and I guess more of a motivational network. And then on top of that, it's built just as much for the runner as a supporter. And so now with hollarhype, you skip that moment of only being able to cheer for 5 to 10 seconds. You now can cheer for the whole duration of a race. And so to build this product, we knew we couldn't do it alone, so we put together a team of investors and advisors, and we will show you some footage from our MVP, which is going to be on the App Store within the month.
Using hollarhype as a runner, live by setting. Supporters in your network will now be notified that you are currently live. As a supporter, setting a cheer is easy.
I don't know what happened.
Navigating to the hype screen to see supporters in your network will now be notified that you are currently live. As a supporter, setting a cheer is easy. Navigating to the hype screen to see who's currently live. Tap on their photo, record your message, and you're done. If they've linked a campaign to their account, you'll even be able to donate to their cause right there at that moment. No matter where you are, your cheer will now play on their headphones for a hands-free motivation experience. Because with hollarhype, the people that matter most are right there with you.
Sorry, guys. All right, so that's our technology, and our approach to the market over the next 6 months is to build really valuable connections with nonprofits, charities, and organizations with mission-led thoughts about bringing groups together throughout the course of running. Although we are aware that there are many different opportunities to bring hollarhype for these different types of use cases, we're focusing on charities and organizations because within their ecosystem, they have those key audiences of stakeholders that are already so important to hollarhype itself, which is runners, supporters, and different types of influencers within these charities. This is just one example. Pictured in this top here is Gabe Grunwald. She's an iconic Olympic level runner who battled rare cancer for about 10 years. And in 2019, she's pictured from her hospital as she shared on Instagram how desperately she not only wanted to be able to run in this race like she did the year before, but actually wanted to be able to connect with these avid supporters who were bringing her the most hope. This became nationwide news in the running community. The vision with hollarhype is that people like Gabe don't have to wish that they could have connected with these different types of supporters, but that she can right then and there. We'd love to see charity missions connect full circle in these ecosystems, which brings us to the market size. We think that the market for hollarhype is huge. Not only in the amount of charities or the races that are run, but we're actually looking at the amount of training miles, which is up to almost 18 billion. If we look at the race itself, that's one day, but there's up to 1,000 training miles for each runner, which backtracks us about 6 months before the race itself. All opportunities for folks to use hollarhype.
So currently hollarhype works off of a freemium model, and we do have some premium features we're excited about, so two of them being group voice message sending and then sponsored message sending. So some examples of how these premium features would work is you'd be able to send a mass message to everyone in a group. So an example of that would be recently the Nationwide Children's Hospital tweeted out that they're going to have 24 of their kids there cheering people on during the Columbus Marathon in October. What better way to cheer people on than not only at the race, but by being able to send voice messages to people that are running the race and a fundraise for them and train so hard throughout the year. And then on top of that, brands can get involved. For example, Aquahydrate is one of our partners. What a better way to connect to Boston than with Mark Wahlberg, who's actually an investor in Aquahydrate. Imagine him sending you a motivationally charged voice message when you're running up Heartbreak Hill during the Boston Marathon.
So where are we now? We're excited to bring our product to market by the end of this month on both Google Play and the Apple Store. We have some case studies that we are looking forward to work with in terms of different charities at the Falmouth Road Race. This fall we'll be spending a lot of time in New York, getting familiar with their race culture, and the big prize that we have our eye on is the New York City Marathon, our ultimate beta test, so that we can fine-tune things as most as possible, especially speaking to those premium features that James alluded to, so that we can make as big of an impact as possible and skip missing all those opportunities in this upcoming Boston Marathon. We are seeking investment, but most importantly, we're looking for introductions to key stakeholders in organizations, charities, or race organizers themselves. Thank you so much for listening to all you have to say about hollarhype, and we'll take a couple of questions now.
So what percentage of runners in a given race are A, running for charity, and B, running with a headset? Running
Sure.
with their phones?
Yeah. So oftentimes we'll see up to 75% of runners in a marathon or a half marathon would be there because they're investing their time, energy, and oftentimes fundraising for a charity. It can be up to about 75%. Boston Marathon is actually one of the most charity-charged races. In terms of the headset, I don't have the exact number, but there was a study from the 2017 Boston Marathon that showed 52% of runners specifically brought their phone with the intention to call somebody for motivation. Yes?
You use the platform for bike races too?
Yeah, we've certainly thought about getting a partnership together with the Pan Mass Challenge. There's a few reasons why we're not piloting with bike racing. One comes down to liability. I do believe that there are some safety issues in aligning our brand with the biking use case right out of the gate. However, there are some safe headsets available now that are promoted for biking using bone technology, which if they want to use hollarhype for that, we are certainly all for it. There's definitely a use case for there regarding motivation and those charity bikers.
Kind of building off that, we really want hollarhype to be for anything, so we built it with kind of like no limits instilled, so you could use it if you were walking to work and you just wanted friends to send you like a joke or something. It's really kind of open-ended.
Do we have time for one more? Yeah.
Hi, yes, I'm a runner too, and definitely a fan of the
Yay.
technology. Thank you. I was curious if you were faced with an acquisition offer, say, from Fitbit or Strava or one of those other technology platforms, could you walk us through the decision-making process you would take?
Absolutely. We've talked about this. If we had to choose, we would definitely have our eye on an acquisition from Spotify, and that might sound out of left field. That's because, as James alluded to, we don't identify as a fitness app, and there are a lot of other technologies that have some of hollarhype capabilities, but the difference is it's like feature number 15 or 20 instead of feature number 1. So for that reason, we actually believe the trajectory of this company and its brand could be limited by an athletic acquisition, which might sound like something bold to say, but if we're really thinking big, we would very much look forward to a conversation with somebody like Spotify. Thank you so much, everybody.